Hey y'all, this is Retha.
Hey, this is Deandra, and you are now listening to.
Coffee Heals and Conversation podcast.
So grab your coffee and listen in.
Hey y'all, hey, how y'all be?
Hey guys.
How y'all doing? Hopefully well. We want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the pod.
We appreciate y'all.
We do. And we're going to get right into the church announcements. Okay. So today I messed around and got me another iced coffee. So it's going to be my regular degular. Wait, hold on. Before I say regular degular, my sister went back home for us and she stopped at Wawa, which is like my favorite little coffee spot. It's not a coffee spot at all. It's literally a gas station that has amazing coffee and food. And she brought back the Wawa coffee pods. I have been savoring the Wawa coffee. So today I don't have coffee from the Church of Walmart. It's coffee from the Church of Wawa. Okay.
Okay.
All right. With a little bit of oat milk, caramel, and I am a happy camper because of the Wawa coffee. Rita, what about
Lucky
you?
you.
Right?
I have iced coffee as well today. Finally tried
Okay.
some. It is I just regular coffee, but I put oat milk and all that, and then oat milk creamer, and
Okay.
it's good. It's
Okay.
refreshing.
All right. I'm here
I
for
love
it.
me. This is the thing. If you've worked with me at Kaiser, you know I have an addiction to iced coffee. Yes.
Lord.
Mhm.
Lord.
Yes.
All right. So this episode is gonna be pretty cool. Because we're gonna be talking about mental health awareness because it is Mental Health Awareness
Awareness month.
Month.
Woo.
Whoop whoop. And if you guys do not know, Rita and I both are very open about us being in therapy and talking through
Mhm.
our stuff. And then something that I do not talk about a lot, and we'll continue to not talk about a lot, but I am in school to become a therapist. So I'm really excited. When Rita brought this to me, I was like, yes, this would be cool.
Yeah.
Because we made a big deal about it at school, about it being Mental Health Awareness Month, because we're going to school to be mental health professionals. So that's what we're going to talk about. So of course I am the queen of articles, and I found us an article that is going to give us some tips on how to improve our mental health.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
before we get into that article, Rita, let's talk a little bit about our mental health. How are we? Let's do a check-in. How are you? How are you for real?
You mean right now today?
Yeah, like right now today. Like today, girl.
Um, Today has been an interesting day. It started
Yes.
off good. You know how sometimes you just get in the mood? I just got in
Girl,
the
yes.
like it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock today at work, and I was just in a mood.
Okay.
And that mood is just carried on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just, letting myself have a little mood,
Okay.
trying to not judge myself for it. Because what I do is I'll like try to analyze, like, okay, what triggered this? And sometimes, girl, ain't nothing triggered it. You just
Ain't
in it.
nothing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to let myself be because I will psychoanalyze myself. Even though I did not complete my second master's, I do have a degree in psychology because I was trying to be something in the therapy field. So
Mm-hmm.
I literally like, well, why am I feeling this way? What happened? And just learning that sometimes it just
Nothing.
is. And
Something.
so, but it wasn't a bad day. I just happened to get in this random mood. I don't know why, but we're here now. But
Okay.
yeah, that's how I'm doing right now.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. We appreciate that. All right. So my check-in is I'm doing pretty good. Mentally, I'm a little stressed, but you know what? I'm not fully sitting in the stress because it's self brought on. I brought it on. I put it on myself. Okay.
Mm,
My procrastination has caused me to stress myself. So
mm,
other than that, I'm fine. I just got to get myself done.
yeah.
But yeah, but today was okay. I just got to get myself done, and that's it.
Mhm. How would you say your mental health is in general? Not just today, but just in general?
In general,
Mhm.
I feel like no, not feel like, I know my mental health is good. I feel like, I've come through a few things that was affecting my mental health,
Mhm.
but I do feel like I'm on the other side of that.
That's good.
So, I'm good. I think I'm in a good place. I feel like I'm in a good place right now. Um, I don't have any major complaints. What about you?
I'm in an interesting space because
Okay.
you already know. I'm dealing with, like, my healing journey and stuff. So, like, I've been kinda heavy lately, just feeling very overwhelmed because it's like I'm realizing a lot of things and
Mhm.
having all these regrets pop up and all these bouts of, like, sadness pop up, whatever. Like, I'm good, but,
Mhm.
like, struggling at the same time, if that makes sense. Because I feel
Okay.
like 2 things can be true. Like, it's not like I'm, like, moping around and all of that, but I'm also just like, there's a lot going on.
Right.
And I am proud of myself though, because I took last Saturday to journal.
Mhm.
I literally, because one of my friends had suggested, because I'm like, I am a writer. I do like to write, but then sometimes writing on paper, your hand gets tired when you got a lot of stuff to say. So she was like, you should dictate like on your laptop. And like, girl, that's been the thing. So I literally
Mhm.
took some time and literally did 2 separate journal entries on Saturday, like, one for the stuff I'm dealing with my deconstruction journey, one from the stuff I'm dealing with, like, just my general healing from my childhood and all that. Girl, I
Mhm.
was just talking and talking and talking, and then I prayed, and then I talked, and then I cried, and then I'm like, "Okay, I'm proud of myself." So it's like I'm doing the things I need to do, but yeah.
Mhm. Well, I'm proud of you for that. That's good. That's a good, um, like, first of all, the good exercise, and two, I'm glad that you took your friends' like advice because you could have been like, "Girl, I ain't doing that," and you
No,
didn't. So that's good.
yes. It's the one right now, it's literally the only way to get me to journal. I'm not gonna write because I got too
Yeah.
much to say. And then it's like when you're just talking, it just comes out and you be like, "Oh, I didn't realize I felt that. Oh."
Right. Exactly. So for the people who are maybe not in a good place right now mentally and going through, one, as I feel like we said it before, but I think it is important to repeat it. There are resources. There
Mhm.
are different avenues if you are unsure or just like if you're
Don't
feeling overwhelmed and you need some help, we are more than happy to help you. You can
Yes.
message us either on Instagram or Facebook. Also, we have
Yeah.
an email, so you can email us at coffeehillspod@gmail.com.
Yes.
And just a reminder, the hills in our email is HEELS, not HE.
Yes.
Okay. And then of course there's 988, which is a suicide prevention hotline.
Yeah.
There is Therapy for Black Girls. They have a directory that
Yes.
will point you to any therapists in your area that are women of color or men of color. I believe they have men on there. I'm not 100% sure. Um, but there are some resources there. And then Psychology Today will also give you a list of psychologists in your area, as well as check in with your employee health program because they usually have
That's
resources
really good, yeah.
um, for mental health. Of course, BetterHelp. Just you might have to therapist shop on BetterHelp. I've heard a few different stories, so
Mhm.
you might have to. Don't be afraid to like find somebody if you don't like them,
Yeah.
cut it off.
It's
Cause
like what I tell people is that therapy is like dating.
yeah,
It's like you have to find a therapist, take the time to find a therapist that works for you.
right,
And so don't feel defeated if the first person that you go to doesn't seem to fit your desires or your style or what you want.
right.
It's okay. It's not abnormal. It's actually very normal to have to go through different
Right. Yeah,
therapists.
it is. I've gone through a few before I found the one that I have now, and if I had to go to somebody else now I probably would cry. Now I'd be like, never mind, forget it. I don't want to do this anymore. But I had to go through a few to find her. So definitely don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, but and then also for the people who may not want to go through any of those steps but want to listen to us, I will give you a few tips that will help you improve your mental health.
And
So,
also, we will link all
yes,
the resources that mentioned down below.
absolutely. Yes, we will. Okay, so the first tip to improve your mental health is let go of material and emotional clutter. This will lessen stress and allow you to focus on what's important to you. That is the first tip. So I think that is a good one. One, because I literally discovered today that I hold on to stuff like
Mhm.
and forget about it and be like, oh, snap, I forgot I had this. I forgot that I even like put this away somewhere. Um, Not that it was like, but you don't realize what you hold on to because sometimes what you hold on to has a memory attached to it. And if that
Mhm. Yeah.
memory is not like the best, then you find it and you're like, that can that can set you back. Like,
Yeah, like, you're like, "Why do I have this?"
right, why do I and then you're like, then you go down memory lane, then you're crying, and then
Mhm.
you're like, I should have never did this, and but girl, throw it away. If you would have thrown it away the first time, then you wouldn't be going backwards when you see it again. So I think letting go of stuff because, like I said, with things that hold memories, if you're somebody who remembers a lot of things, like one piece of material can make
Mhm.
you like think of a whole scenario.
Mhm. That's true.
So it's important to maybe possibly like maybe go through every quarter, people say,
Mhm.
like every quarter go through your things,
Yeah.
throw it away, give it away,
Mhm.
just so you can continually make space for things that bring peace and bring happiness.
No, I think it's a good tip too, because like, I try as a practice to at least, like, deep clean my house, like, at least every 3 months or whatever, and so it's crazy the stuff that you'll find, and you'll be like, "Why do I have this?" Like, it's so interesting because 'cause I'll have things and, like, I'll have something and I have a reason why I'm keeping it, and then some time will pass, and I'm like, "Why do I even have this?"
Right.
And I just toss it, whatever, but I think even just in general, keeping a clutter-free place
Mm,
helps because I notice, like, when I know that, like, there's a lot of clutter in my space, I'm like I feel cluttered in my mind, like, I feel,
mhm,
like, overwhelmed and stuff because I know I have to get rid of this clutter, and it's annoying me, and I don't like
mhm,
so, I think just on the practical side of it, it's just, like, when I take the time to declutter and, like, deep clean my house, my apartment feels lighter.
mhm. Yeah.
Like, it just feels lighter because like, I've got up all the whatever dirts under the stuff that, you have to move stuff around. But, like, no, I think that's a really good tip because that can help from, like, what you said in terms of the emotional attachment to things that we have, but
Mhm,
then also, like, just seeing your house and being like, "Okay, you know that you've literally touched every nook and cranny and gotten rid of whatever junk
mhm.
you have."
Yeah. And I know that like I was literally just thinking about going through all my stuff and like getting rid of not even like not just stuff that brings like emotions or whatever, but just like stuff that I have no need for. Like
Yeah.
there's things
Mhm.
that other people could use that I'm holding on to, and this poor person is probably looking for it, and I have it. So like just getting rid of it.
And it takes time, and I think doing it like, don't overwhelm yourself if it's a huge task. It can be a huge task, just take
Yeah.
a piece at a time. Like, there's stuff like there's closets I need to go into and be like, "I need to get rid of stuff." Like, I already know.
Right.
My bookcase, I'm like, "I gotta get rid of these." It's like half these books I haven't read or I read
Right.
one, will not go back. So I'm like so yeah.
The next tip is go outside and soak up the sun. Vitamin D deficiency is linked to depression. And I think that's very important. Um, but I will say I have noticed that I don't be going outside like that. Besides like literally leaving the house to go to work and
Mhm,
then go back home.
mhm,
Even on my lunch break, I'm in my car. Like,
mm,
even though I'm outside, I'm in my car. Like, so reading that, I'm like, you're right. Like, I really don't. I need to go outside more. Also, take vitamin D pills because I don't be outside. So I probably should take some supplements as well. But,
yeah,
and I think that it is true that I think it has to be true that it is linked to depression because the time that I've noticed that I have had my moments of depression, everything is dark, and I'd rather it be that way. I don't wanna
Mhm.
see the
You know,
sun
any
or
light
out in
in,
my
yeah,
yeah, bring it in the light. No, close the curtains, keep them that way, leave me alone.
yeah,
So I can see why it's linked to depression because it kinda like it holds space for it. Like when it's dark, it's like you don't have
mm,
to think about anything else but what you're going through because what I
yeah.
feel is dark, my environment is dark, and we just kind of like mesh together.
No, yeah, I think it's important. I definitely see that because 'cause I'm the kind of person, like, I'm introverted, but, like, I'm one of those introverts that, like, I know if I stay home too long and stay inside too long that I will fall into depression, so I'm like, "My behind needs to get outside," and so, like, for
Hmm.
me, I have an hour lunch, so I take, like, pretty much half an hour and I take a walk. Like, I do,
Hmm.
like, a brisk walk in the neighborhood that I work in just because 'cause I'm like, "Okay, I know I need to be outside, it's good exercise or whatever," but it's good because it's like you get to see what's outside, you get to interact with whatever's there, and I think it's a good thing for just I think it is good for depression because it's just like you're getting that vitamin D, you're
Hmm.
being outside, you're getting that fresh air, you're not stuffed in an office or your house or whatever. Like I think it's really good because I
Yeah.
noticed that like when the seasons where I'm not walking at my lunch and I'm like either stay in the building or go to my car, it's like I just feel very like. But when I
Hmm.
start walking, I'm like, this feels good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I need to take a page out of your book and do 30 minutes walking and 30 minutes in the car. But
Girl.
then, girl, as sometimes I be so frustrated, but by the time my lunch come, I'm like, let me sit in the car and get my life together and get my
Well, that's the thing
emotions.
though. You can take that frustration on a walk,
You're absolutely
and you
right.
can also talk to God
You're
on the walk
absolutely
too,
right. You're
and give him your
absolutely
frustration.
right.
There has been many a time I have been so frustrated at work that I'm like, Lord, on this walk we gonna talk. 'Cause these people
You're irking my soul,
are
Lord.
people in.
There are people and not for real though. Okay, so the next one is start a gratitude journal. By writing down one thing you're thankful for each day, change your words, change your thoughts, change your life. I like this one particularly because I like journaling. So, and I also feel like I remember things when I write it down.
Mhm.
So even though I can type it on my phone, like obviously, but I'm
Yeah.
a pen and paper person. So when I
Mhm,
write it,
mhm.
I remember it better.
Mm.
So if I write like I'm grateful that somebody paid for my coffee this morning. Like, then I remember, like, also, you know what? Somebody paid for my coffee this morning. You know what I mean? So for me, that's
Yeah.
like that works for me. So I need to start a gratitude journal so I can constantly have something to look back on and to remember throughout the day.
That's something I need to do because I think it'll help shift. I think it helps when you focus on gratitude. I think it helps you shift your focus, and you're
Mhm.
not so like internalized, or you're looking. It makes you kind of look outside of yourself and be like, okay, what do I have to be grateful for? Because you know how like I try to do those little things where like you write something good that happened every day or whatever.
Yeah. Hmm.
I have moments where I do it and then I fall off and I have to catch up, whatever.
Right.
But I think it's important because I think sometimes we take for granted the good stuff that is in our lives, or we'll take for granted like the things that we should be thankful for. And so
Mm.
I think that's very important. And like I said, it'll take you out of yourself and to make you look like, okay, like yeah, I do have things to be grateful for. I do have things in my life that are great.
Right. Yeah. All right. And the last one is give yourself permission to feel your emotions so that you can properly release them. It's okay not to be okay. Oh, there's so much to say about that one. I mean, maybe not, but like it feels like it is because I feel like we definitely touched on this the last episode where we, as Black women, we feel like we're not given the space to be
Mhm.
angry because we have to fight against the stereotype of being the angry Black
Angry
woman.
Black woman.
But
Mhm.
even as a woman, sometimes you don't have the space to be emotional because then it's like, oh
Yeah,
my God, you're so emotional. Oh my God. Like, you know what I
like it's
mean?
such
Like,
a negative thing. Yeah,
right, right. Like you're always
yeah.
crying. You're so sensitive. And it's like, I mean, I am sensitive. Okay. Why you guys bring it up like that? But I think allowing yourself to feel all of your emotions and
Mhm.
release them, because keeping them stored up or keeping them stored within yourself can, one, make you physically sick, like in real life. Like
Yep.
you can end up sick, being sick, holding
Mhm.
your emotions in. So that hurts nobody but you.
Yeah.
So releasing it, one, is another form of self-care, I believe, and taking care of yourself, just like in general. But also it allows you to make space for other feelings. So like if you release whatever negative feelings that you have, it
Yeah.
eliminates that, but then it gives you the opportunity to now find another, like something like on the bright side, or something that makes you happy or brings you joy or anything, or brings you peace or anything like that. It gives you the space to do that. Because if you're holding on to the not emotional, if you're holding on to the negative things or the hurtful things, you have no capacity for anything else but that.
That's real. That's really real. Yeah. It's definitely something that I've had to learn because, of course, I've been labeled as sensitive. I've been called sensitive. I am sensitive. I don't like the negative connotation of it, and so it's something that I'm still working through because it really just like sometimes people are just mean. And it's not me being sensitive. Sometimes you're just mean.
Right. Mhm.
I feel like sometimes it's almost an excuse for people to just be able to say what they want to say, and it's like no. But anyway, I've had to learn to like let myself feel my feelings. I've had to like because it's like I'm either at times in my life I've either been very explosive with my feelings
Mhm.
or I've stuffed them. So I'm finding the balance of like, okay, they're here, feel them.
Right.
You don't have to. And on top of that, like I mentioned earlier in the episode, like you don't always have to analyze it, just feel it. And so, like something right now that I am working through, just to give you be vulnerable, right? Is there's things that I'm working through with like in terms of my faith and in terms of my childhood or whatever and the way that I used to like we talked about being yourself in the last episode, and I wasn't myself. I was what I thought they wanted me to be. And so I
Mhm.
wasted so many years being someone that wasn't fully herself.
Mhm.
And so I've had to allow myself to feel the feeling of grief
Mhm.
for all that wasted time. Now, mind you, can I go back and change it? No.
Right.
I can just go forward, but I'm also giving myself the space to, okay, feel the grief.
Right.
It sucks. Feel it. And then, and I do tell myself, even when I'm in it, it's like, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to go forward, but I'm going to allow myself to feel that feeling. And I think it actually helps rather than just trying to run over it.
Mhm.
Because if you run over and ignore it, it's going to come up as something else. So I'd rather just like, it really is helpful to actually feel your feelings and acknowledge them
Mhm.
because that helps you to be able to move on to the next, whatever your next step is or whatever you
Yeah.
have. It really does actually help you to get better. It does help you to process things and heal because you're like, okay, this is how I'm feeling. I'm gonna let myself feel that. I'm not gonna judge it. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
try to psychoanalyze it. I'm just gonna like, okay, this is how I feel. And validate that your feelings are normal.
Right. Yeah.
Depending on how you grew up, you could feel like your feelings are not valid.
Right.
For me, unfortunately, that's kind of like the kind of home I grew up in. It's like my feelings weren't really like it felt like my feelings weren't valid. And
Mhm.
so I've had to learn to like, okay, no, what you're feeling is valid,
Mhm.
what you're feeling is legitimate. And even certain things, something that came to my mind earlier, so sorry to go on a tangent, but something that came to my mind earlier today was we talk about people like wanting validation or wanting certain things. That's normal.
Mhm.
We all
Yeah.
want to be validated. We all want to be appreciated. We all want attention. There's ways that we can get that healthily and unhealthily, but they are valid things.
Right.
So we need to stop judging ourselves and each other for having these very valid
Mhm.
needs.
Yeah. I agree. That's good. One thing that's not on the list at all, but I thought about, um, I think one way to improve your mental health is finding somebody that creates a safe space for you that you are able to talk to and completely like they don't judge you. Like, and I'm not saying just a therapist because sometimes people can't afford therapy. And I'm not saying that your friend has to be a therapist, nothing like that. But if there's somebody that you're super close to and that y'all have like this non-judgmental thing, like you can literally say whatever and they're like, I agree. You should do that or not do that or say nothing at all and just let you talk. Like that's your mental health because you have that person that's gonna again create a safe space for you and give you the opportunity to get that off of you because sometimes just crying it out by yourself may not be enough. You may want to say it out loud to somebody and just let somebody
Yeah.
hear it and that's it. So if you have that person, use them like, tell them like, "Hey, I need to talk, I need to vent, I need to cry, I need to whatever, and I need you," and don't be afraid to say, "I need you to not say anything." Or, "I don't need advice. I don't want you to know I don't want you to feel like you have to give me advice in this moment. I just wanna be able to get it out so it's not on me anymore,
Mhm.
and I can release it." So, I think that's something another way to improve your mental health is having somebody that you're able to talk to.
I think you know what? That's a really good because I feel like it all flows together, right? Like, because like one of the things that we've talked about before is how like either the Black community or the church is like, no, you don't need therapy. Da, 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 you can just pray. Mind you, prayer is something I use. When I tell you, when I get my time with God, dang near half of the time I'm praying
Mhm,
about something either I'm dealing with or something I know somebody that I care about is dealing with, whatever. So like all these things work together. So going to therapy, journaling, having those people that you feel safe with,
mhm.
talking to God about it, and like not just being like, this is the thing. Prayer is so important. Like talk to God like you would talk to that friend. That's how he
Mhm,
wants you to talk to him anyway. It's not like, oh Heavenly Father. No, it's like, Lord, so you don't want to knock her out, right? Like I literally prayed like that.
mhm.
And it helps me to like get all that whatever I'm feeling out. So like all of this stuff that we're sharing goes together in terms of your mental health. So get that friend. Even
Right,
if it's don't feel like it has to be several people. It can just be one person because not everybody is trustworthy. Let's be real about that, right?
right,
Like
exactly.
having the discernment to be like, okay, this is a person I know I can trust. Share with that friend,
Mhm.
and like pray it out, cry it out, whatever. But I think, girl, I think that's such a good point because when I tell you, I'd be like, girl, you see me, I'd be like, girl,
So the article will be linked below as always because there are 4 more tips. So if you want to read all 8, go ahead and read that article. Also, talk back to us. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know
yes,
what is your mental health tip. What are you doing for mental health awareness? There are mental health awareness walks that you can go on. There you might have to Google though. That's something that you would have to Google because there are certain like mental health alliances and all that they put on walks. So you can go and do a walk. The color is green that's like a little like the breast cancer ribbon. Instead of it being pink,
okay,
it's green. So if you see those, that person is a mental health advocate. Come on and be an advocate, okay?
okay.
Um, so yeah, there's a couple things you can do and take time for you. Self-care, obviously, we harp on it because it is really important and
Very important.
create your peace, create your environment, create your safe space if you can, if you're able to. And if
Yes,
you're
take
not,
charge.
yeah, take charge. And if you're not and you need help, reach out to all those resources that we told you about earlier, as well as if you want to reach out to us. And we will try to help you the best way that we can. I am not a professional yet, so can't help you in that
Well,
way, but I
need
can
you
help
too.
you, right? I can lead you and help you and guide you to the actual professionals. Okay. But please take care of yourselves. And you can reach me on Instagram at Monique. You can reach the podcast at Coffee Hills _convo pod. Rita.
You can reach me at Read the Author. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow us on YouTube as well as all
Hmm.
of the podcast listening platforms. And one last thing I want to say is
Okay.
don't feel shame. Don't feel ashamed of whatever your struggles are in terms of your mental health. We all struggle. Like we both shared some things that we've gone through or dealing with or trying to do to make our health better.
Mhm.
But don't feel shame. Don't let anyone make you feel ashamed of having anything going on. Take charge of your mental health and do what you need to do for you. Don't let nobody shame you from that. Okay?
Right. Um,
And lastly,
yes.
y'all, we really need y'all to rate,
Mhm.
review,
Mhm.
all of that because we want to be able to grow. We want people to be able to find us. And in order for that to happen, we seriously do need you guys to rate and review. So please hit us with that good old 5 stars. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, give us that 5 stars. And we will talk to y'all next week, Thursday. So y'all have a
Yeah.
good week. Take care of yourself. Bye.
Bye.